Okay, Overwatch hot takes. If you want to send me your hot take, join my Discord. It's in the description. But I'm going to look at what some of my friends sent me, and we're going to break it down. Some of these go back kind of late, so they may be balanced things that aren't exactly accurate anymore, but I've got a couple things to go with. So again, if you want to send your own, please join my Discord. It's in the description. So, let's start with this one that I gave a thumbs down. Widow is hot. Oh, hold on. Is that how it's going to display? Then let's do this. Widow is hot. I said die. I don't even want to. I'm not going to talk about this one. Just know that this was the very first hot take I got. So, let me see if I can. Yeah, we'll do this. This one is from my friend who doesn't really play Overwatch anymore. He says, Devatra is the pinnacle of OW ships. Say what you will about thematic implications of such an arrangement, the future will vindicate me. I don't know what he means by that. I don't know what he means. Does he think this is going to happen? Does he think that the fan surge will make it so? So, yeah, this one's silly. No, I hate this. I hate this a lot. So we'll just move on from that. Okay, here we go. Venture's VA makes me yearn for eternal slumber. Now, what I don't know their name, but the VA is very cool and they're involved with the community a lot and it's great and I see them on Twitter all the time. They're a very cool person. But maybe worse than Kiri, I'm criticizing the attitude, not the actual voice acting. Yeah, I was about to say I think she does a really good job with the voice acting. I think Venture is a little cringe, just like a little, just a tiny bit. Honestly, the more that I've played them, they're okay. I don't really care that much. They're okay. But they are very like very millennial read this kind of character. And this was like the first day that they were available in the trial period. So yeah, that's Venture there. Okay, I don't think I saw this one. Mystery Heroes is the best game mode, especially competitive. Oh, we have a list of points. Okay, I think Mystery Heroes is the best game mode because 1, it is fun. 2, it keeps you on your toes. Good. 3, there is a competitive mode, and that is so cool because having a rank based on random characters, including those you don't really want to play, is funny. 4, better than regular competitive, and I'm assuming that this means, what's it called? Annoying is too regular competitive. And then 5, my little dopamine addicted Zoomer brain needs new stimulation. So once I get bored of one character, I'm on to the next, and I'm advocating that this is actually a good thing that everyone should entertain. Okay, thank you. All right. Here, we'll go through point by point. We'll take them in a vacuum, right? And then we'll answer the big question: is it the best game mode? So 1, is it fun? Yeah, I think Mystery Heroes is fun as hell. It's super silly, especially like I play a lot of characters in this game. And it's fun to like swap through them, and I feel pretty adept on most characters. So it's fun to flex my skills, and like I just respawn a completely different character and can do stuff. It's fun. You never know what's gonna happen. And it's a good thing. Also, like cycling characters, you have to like you play the ults differently. It's a lot more just like aggressive. So the game plays different because of the old cycling. It's cool. Keeps you on your toes. The best game mode is actually low gravity. You need to fucking leave. What are you talking about? Low gravity is horrifically bad. It feels like you're playing in molasses. It is so bad. Oh my god, that's a horrible take. Oh wow. Okay, 3. There's a competitive mode and that is so cool because having a rank on a random character. Yeah, the competitive is really funny because it's like people are like trying to rank up, but like not really. So it's funny. I liked competitive Mystery Heroes. I was decently good at it. I remember there's one game where I just played. I got Torb on attack and I never died, and I had like 30 kills on the on the attack. It was crazy. 4, better than regular competitive, annoying. If you don't want to be annoyed when you play competitive, sure. Is it actually better than regular competitive? I don't think so. I think it's just it loses a lot of depth and a lot of agency. So I would not exactly call it better than regular competitive. My little dopamine addicted Zoomer brain, I have one of those, needs new stimulation. So once I get bored of one character, I'm on to the next. I'm advocating this is actually a good thing that everyone should entertain. I think you can do that in other modes, except they don't do it for you, and it's also like a bad call if you do it. So technically, you could always swap what character you want to play, but you know, it also swaps your roles in competitive mystery heroes. So that's here neither here nor there. Okay. So, is it the best game mode? Absolutely not. Mystery Heroes removes a lot of your agency. I think that's the big thing. And sometimes it just feels like you're getting like terrible character after terrible character, and the other team got like 3 tanks, 2 supports, and you guys got 5 DPS, and you're like, okay, well, it's fun while it lasted. So, yeah. But that means I have to play ball. Yeah. Yeah, if you have a character that you just cannot play, then you're stuck on them and you have to go feed. So, yeah, Mystery Heroes is the best game mode. I wouldn't say so, but it's a good one. I like it. Let me see. Venture is fun. Okay, so this was during the Venture preview. Venture is fun to play, but needs some buffs. I agree. I think Venture was pretty middle of the pack, if not maybe a little weak. On launch, and now they're even weaker after the nerfs. I think I already talked about this, so I'm not going to go into it too in depth. But Langston here, shout out Langston in my chat right now. Mag size increase from 8 to 10. Either a slight range increase on the primary fire or a slight rate of fire increase. 250 to 275. Slight speed increase on the burrowing ability. So I'm going to go through that one by one. Mag size increase from 8 to 10. I thought mag size was fine. I think they before these nerfs, they did a decent amount of damage. If they really don't want them to have that burst damage, I think increasing the mag size now could probably be a good alternative. Either a slight range increase on the primary fire or a slight rate of fire increase. I would much rather take a rate of fire increase rather than a range increase. I think they're low range. I mean, that's like part of the deal when you play Venture. So I think the range is fine, and it probably should stay that way. Primary rate of fire increase, maybe. Again, the burst is not here so much, so that could be another like good alternative. 250 is 275. I don't think they have a problem surviving. Oh, Discord? Oh, I clicked off Discord for a second and it. Well, okay. Well, I gotta keep refreshing it. Anyways, yeah, I think their survivability is perfectly fine. I don't think they need more HP. They get plenty from the shields. I feel like that's part of the skill, like when do you actually use shields and everything. Because you, like when you use your abilities, you get shields. So that's kind of part of it. Like when do you use your abilities like that. So I think that's fine. Slight movement increase on the burrowing ability. Yeah, I think so. I think it's hard for them to set up properly. Because burrow is something you can see and you know when they're going for it, so you can easily counter them. So at least let them go a little further, because it is really easy to track down a Venture, play Tracer, play anybody that's got a little bit of speed, and Venture can be found pretty easy. But yeah, Venture definitely needs some buffs, especially from where they are on live. I would agree on that. Okay, here's one. This one's cool. So this one's just from like a week or two ago. Before we know about any of these new tank changes. Rein would not be meta at 1,000 HP. Rein would not be meta at 1,000 if he had 1,000 HP. He had like basically 300 HP added to his health bar. He would not be meta. Let's see what his description is. His playstyle is just not conducive to what Overwatch 2, and he needs a rework. I don't think there's a way to change him without making him oppressive or unplayable. I think the point you have to consider here is that it depends on what kind of health Ryan gets. If he got like flat regular health, honestly, this is probably true. If he got any kind of mix of armor in that, that's when I think Ryan having more HP would make him pretty broken. Um, because it doesn't matter if he can get to you, you can't kill him. You can't win a duel with 1,000 HP tank that does 100 damage per swing. Um, oh my God! Look at this. 400 armor wouldn't cut it. I don't know how much armor he has on live right now, but he's actually saying that even more armor wouldn't work. Wow, I don't know about that. I don't know. We've had a Rhine meta before. It's possible. Like you just play really slow, and like that was like season 3. Ryan got more armor. And we had a Ryan meta because he had too much armor and he was really good. To be fair, I think like we didn't have Mauga or the Hog rework or anything yet, but still, I think there is a way Ryan can be good. Like his numbers just get too high, and I think if armor is too high, then Ryan is good. He would be meta at 10,000 HP. I think that's probably true. Probably pretty true. Can you imagine a 10,000 HP Reinhardt with like the new passive regen where he regens like portions of his health, like percentage based? I agree that he wouldn't be meta because current most optimal tanks like Malga, Orisa, and Roadhog effectively already have 1,000 plus HP due to their ability to self. That's a really good point. That's actually a really good point here. That the other characters are good and they are just better at doing what Ryan, better what they do than what Ryan does. So that's a really good point. I'm not gonna go into the whole big thing, but Ryan not being meta at 1,000 HP, I kind of agree with. I think I agree with. My season 10 tank tier list. This is from Langston again. So Ori right up at the top. I don't know. So this is April. So this is the end of the season. 10k armor, only HP. And there would still be people trying to play Doom into him. I think you're throwing if you play anybody into him. If he had 10k armor, like there's unless you gave Winston like you made Winston damage 10 times higher, and then he shreds through the armor because he ignores it. Then like maybe there's an argument there, but like. Oh, that'd be funny though. I'd pay to see that. This was before Ori nerf. Yeah. Ori nerf was this? Yeah. So we gonna have a go. Yes, Ori was definitely the best, obviously. Down from there, I don't know. So I agree with Sig and Winston, and I don't know. I just heard tell of Mauga and Hog being really good under the surface. I guess this was before the DPS passive too. So yeah, they were good. Malga was still played. I think Hog's just kind of like a ranked demon. He does the same thing that Ori does, but just not nearly as effectively. But in ranked, he's gonna get basically the same value of just like not being killable. So I do get the merit of why you put Hog here, but I personally would probably put him in like B. I think you think you slept on Doomfist a little bit. I think it's more of like he's hard to play into some of these other comps, but with Ori out of the picture, I think Doom, or not just Ori out of the picture, but I think Dive is much more viable, like full Dive, because effectively these Ori comps we were playing in OWCS, I mean, they're like Dive. They basically are Dive, aren't they? It's every other character is a Dive character except Ori is there. So when they go Dive, she shoots them from afar. B tier, yeah, Diva, Rom, like these are just like the generally like good characters that just kind of were meta, like pushed out because of the other characters that were good. By the way, I know this is, a little bit ago, but watch out for Queen next patch. Yeah, I'm going to look at the explanation. I'm just giving my thoughts by Raw. Watch out for Queen next patch. I think she's going to be a what's it called? She's going to be a menace. Absolutely. She benefit unironically, I think Queen benefits the most from headshot changes. It's already hard to hit her head, and when you finally do, you get less reward. from it. Like that's kind of crazy. And the buffs that she's getting. So watch out for Queen. Like seriously, I think she's gonna be really really good. And she can't get knocked back in Carnage. That's really big. Like not being able to get like super knocked back when she goes for Carnage, like that's crazy. Okay. And then C tier Zarya, Ball, Ryan. Yeah, I think Ball sucks. I think he sucks really bad. Zarya just doesn't do anything. She's too slow. She doesn't have enough effective HP. Bubbles don't. Bubbles are not. How do I say this? It's effective HP, but Fortify gives you effective HP over a longer period of time. You know what I mean? Zarya's it's really quick. Everything bursts really, really hard. So she can't stay in fights. And you have to set your Zarya up and then get her bubbles back and then go in, and it's too slow. You can run Zarya down too easily. Even on like an Ori comp or something. Even if you have Ori, she can go run at Zarya and there's nothing Zara can even do. So, yeah. Pretty bad. And of course, Ryan, we just talked about Ryan. So, explanation, I'm going to TLDR it, I think. I'm not even going to look at Orisa, we know. Maga and Hog are both really strong and get beat out by Orisa. Hog is low-key slept on and power crept. Yeah, his damage reduction is crazy. Ori being hard minute. Winston is really good, but he's hard countered by both Maga and Hog. Yeah. I think it's map dependent. I think they were still playing Winston, but it was map dependent. The thing about Winston is that he can counterplay. So long as the entire team doesn't pick Winston counters, he can survive through bad tank matchups. He really can. Like, you can play a Winston well enough because of how his kit functions with jump being on such a low cooldown. Same thing with Doom, that you can outplay bad tank matchups. If every single person on the other team is a Winston counter, then you got to swap it up. But I think you're right. Like, Winston is good. But yeah, Sigma, good all-rounder, right? He's got good matchups, good maps. Situational tanks that are playable. I see, yeah. So that's going to be your Rom, Queen, Doom, Diva, right? Yeah, definitely. I just want to punch things and hit them with a hammer. Sorry. I think, apparently, people have been talking about Reinhardt for next patch. Not being able to boot back Ryan is pretty good. He gets really helped by the armor change. Like, Ryan has a lot of armor. And not being able to be headshot as much, that means he gets to stand and swing longer. Like, Ryan may be more viable next patch. We'll have to see. Zarya as a pub stomper doesn't really work about metal ranks. I think Zarya has like the bell curve, or like a bimodal curve where it's like in the super low tier. I think she could be really good and hard to deal with. Once you start getting higher in the ranks, she becomes like actually worthless. And then once you're at the tippy top, she is like barely playable. If your whole team knows exactly what to do. Oh my god, Discord, stop! Sorry. And then Ryan and Ball. So Thomas, this is after Ori nerfs. Okay, this is after it. Ori isn't dead, just more matchup dependent. He said people got used to spamming cooldowns, but she is still viable with smart play. I think that's true, but the problem is that Ori's uptime got hit a lot. So her Fortify went down by a second, and or her cooldown, Fortify actively went down by a second, and then the cooldown of spin went down by 2 seconds, okay? Combine those together, effectively, it's 3 seconds less uptime. Plus, she can't move as fast in Fortify, which also means that she has to start dipping back around corners faster, and it hits her uptime even harder. And she can't chase, and so that also is kind of part of it. Like it hits her uptime. Yeah, she went down from S to like B. Yeah, I think she's still okay. But it like the hits to her uptime are like really really bad. So she'll be like situational, and you could definitely play her on certain maps. But yeah, definitely definitely much harder to play, and definitely like she's definitely much weaker now. Here we go. Tom also on the Hog. Hog needs a nerf ASAP. This character is the worst to play. Is worse to play as an Ori. That's true. Absolutely true. I hate Roadhog. Fuck Roadhog. He's invincible without anti or discord. It really does feel like it, to be honest. Like he what is it? Like 50% damage reduction on breather? Crazy. That's crazy damage reduction. I think a longer cooldown after using breather would make him much better to play against. Yeah, I've always felt like it sounds like they want Hog to be using breather as like a way to mitigate damage more actively, like thinking about like, oh, there's a big instance of damage coming away, I'm gonna eat it. Kind of like it's supposed to be like defense matrix, but for tanking the damage yourself instead of saving people, right? That's kind of what it, to me, is what it's like. Yeah, Hog has always been that tank that you have to team focus fire to really take down if he is the needed pick. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's probably a pretty good change if they reduce his cooldown on between, or sorry, increase his cooldown between breather usages. Any way that what's it called? It encourages him to use it more like that kind of DM, not just for self-sustain, like an actual like active mitigation ability. That's gonna make him way better, or like feel way better to play and to play against. But I don't know the exact what you would do to make that work. All right, Langston put a rework tier list that I actually reacted to the other day, and I'm making a video. I can't remember when that video is coming out. Tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. So look out for that if you didn't see it live. Okay, and these are the ones I asked. I called to my Discord server. I just realized I know my Discord server is all my YouTube videos. I don't even know if it's on my Twitch page at all. I don't think I've updated the links on here. I'm not sure. But these were I called today, and I got a couple more. This is for Fix Moira. What does there need to be fixed about Moira? Let's find out. Love her as a non-aim dependent hero, but I wish she did something more than damage/healing, like a Suzu, armor, damage boost, etc. All have a silly effect to help the team, but Fade is like specifically for her. As a fan of her, I wish she had more. Even Reaper has like Wraith and the TP, maybe high Fade CD, and then a very small nano nade or something. Science core. That's cool. I have a link to a spreadsheet where the math is being done comparing damage between current and new armor changes. Whoa. I mean, I know how armor works, what new armor does, but I'm assuming you're talking about like damage, like how much damage over time like certain characters would be doing if they hit a certain amount of damage or something, or like certain amount of clips. That's actually really interesting. You're not allowed to send links in my chat, unfortunately. Hold on. I'll figure that out later. Let me finish these last three. Yeah, it shows most, if not all, the differences. Interesting. Yeah, let me finish this up, and then we'll take a look at that. Yeah, so Moira is a character that they've given like so many, like, what's it called? They've tried so many different things with this character. I remember so I think if you played the second beta of Overwatch 2, she had that the other orb. Instead of it just being damage orb, it was like a weaken. I don't remember what they called it. But if you hit the orb, which was way harder, like it was kind of like a skill shot. It had a bit of splash, but it moved faster and was, if you hit it, it made your like that person do 75% less damage. It was crazy. Moira could never feel, it never felt good to use. You never felt the impact of that ability, but when you got hit by it, it was awful. So like they scrapped it, and I'm glad they scrapped it. But I don't know if you guys remember this. Overwatch 1, there was an experimental patch where Moira got a multi-target cleanse. Before Kiri, before Suzu. Yes, yeah, the team fade. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the team fade is it basically when I can't remember if it was at the beginning and the end, but I'm pretty sure that when she faded her team in a radius around her. Um Yeah, the reason why Moira becomes meta is just survivability, which is why she's been playable these past couple patches because her cooldown or fades on 6 seconds, which is ridiculous, and just raw numbers, right? Just raw numbers. And the reason why Moira is good now, even though that like healing has been nerfed after the DPS passive, is that comps play faster. Like when you play with Moira, you just play really fast. So it doesn't matter if you run out of resources because you kill the enemy team before you do. It had to have been an early Suzu experiment. I can imagine that's where the idea for Suzu came from. They basically worked the same thing. So Suzu was a throwable and Moira was like a radius around her. Um, I agree with this absolutely. I do not think we should do either of those two options that we used to have. Um, I'm my oh it already happened. So I did my Reaper rework yesterday, which is going up on YouTube on Wednesday. But I did it streaming live, and I came up with a new status effect called Brightened, which would work for Moira. But it basically is reverse hack where it stops your primary fire. So basically that could be something to like. I don't really know. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it may not work, but if it worked like the weakened orb, it just like basically shut down your primary fire. It would feel better to use because you would know when the impact is, and it would allow Moira to like take duels better. I don't know if that's the way we want her to go, but it would provide multiple utility and a lot of decision making. I'm gonna probably say no to that idea, but it's I don't know. Like Moira does need something because she is pretty boring. As is. The resource management is fun on paper, but in practice, it doesn't really come across. Um, but yeah, I absolutely agree with this. Moira does need some changes, some light changes. Um, Langston, this is another one from you. I think the next two are you. Some characters should be good / top tier, and some characters should be niche, situational, or bad. Before I even read, oh my god, before I even read this, absolutely, absolutely. And smite, that effect is called disarmed. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Um, so in the current game, if characters never got their kits touched at all, like redone or anything, absolutely, right? If we're never gonna rework anything ever again, some characters should be bad because it's healthier for the game because they're less frustrating. In a perfect world, we can get all of the characters up to the same level of fun to play and fun to play against. Oh my god. And the nuance. Okay, hold on. All of my tabs just closed on me on the other side of my screen. What does anybody know? Like, what is this new Discord thing? It just turns Discord off for after you haven't touched it for a little bit. Whatever. But yeah, in a perfect world, we can get every character can be reworked and be fun for everybody, and it'd be great, and then we can bounce from there. In the current world that we are, the realistic world, yes, some characters should absolutely be bad, right? So I know the ideal is to be close is perfect balance. I honestly don't think so. I don't want to see Malga as much as I see Winston, right? I want to see Winston way more. Heroes like Tracer, Winston, and Lucio are characters who've historically been extremely balanced, but also pretty commonly hot top tier picks. This is okay because all three heroes have really good skill expression and aren't super easy or frustrating to play with / against. True. Tiny tweaks are okay, but in my opinion, sizable nerfs should not be given to any of these heroes, and instead the game around them should change if they are too strong. Absolutely, right? We do not want to make fun, high skill characters bad. We don't want to make them worse. If they're in a good spot and they're the people that define the meta, that's how we should get everyone there. or we should get everybody to how they are designed, right? Unless they're reworked, okay, exactly. Heroes like Bastion, Symmetra, Junkrat, Orisa, and Moira should never be high tier. I think that's a bit of a mix of characters, but yes, I get where you're going. They will already always be good picks in low elo because really anything goes down there if you know what your hero does. Specialists in these heroes will be able to make the hero work, but they should never be tuned up to be good enough to be meta or must pick in pro play. These heroes are low skill, aside from some junk stuff, frustrating to play and boring to see in every game. Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's too much of a hot take. I will say, though, I was thinking about this earlier today. You know, cast. Think about cast. Like, I've been doing a lot of rework talk and ideas on my channel, but a lot of times it gives... I really want characters to have more options because it makes them more versatile and there's more decision-making, all of that. But at some point... I think there should be certain characters that are like the comfort characters, you know? They aren't typically very good, but they also aren't like too frustrating to play against, and they're just simple. They're simple fallback characters. I was thinking about it on like Cass. Cass is a great fallback character. I'm just like, I'm not finding the value I want on my hit scan. You know, I'm not finding the value I want on Soj. I'm going to just play the more consistent comfort pick in Cass. And Magnetic Grenade will, terrible ability. I hate Magnetic Grenade. Maybe if you reworked Nade. But like, I feel like those, like the Casses of the world kind of need to exist. And they shouldn't be very, very good. They should just be there in case you want to play them in ranked, right? In pro play, they'll be largely ignored. In ranked, maybe Soldier, right? Soldier's probably like the easier flanker. You know what I mean? So exactly, right? Langston called it. I was trying to think about the other supports, but I feel like that's way harder to come up with. Like supports and tanks, like what's a fallback tank or support? That's a little harder. Ori is a fallback tank, but Fortify, like Magnetic Grenades, needs some work. Consistent, not necessarily powerful. Okay, everyone is in agreement on Soldier. Good to see. But yeah, no, definitely there are some characters that should not be good. Definitely. This one just says hot take. This is the last one here. If Overwatch adds one more new currency before adding a Lucio Mythic skin, I'm uninstalling the game. Dude, I think Overwatch's currencies are dumb. Like, I haven't realized how bad it's gotten, because now we have 5 of them, don't we? We have both competitive ones, so current competitive points and old competitive points. We have current Overwatch coins and legacy coins, and then we have mythic coins, right? That's 5. Is there anything I'm missing? Oh my god, Overwatch League, that's 6. So we have 6 currencies now. That's crazy. Overwatch 1, we had 2 currencies, and most people didn't even interact with the Overwatch League one. Now we have... Or I guess we had 3. So we had 3 currencies, and most people didn't interact with the Overwatch League one, so we had 2. Now we have 6. That's insane. I didn't even think about that. We're becoming League of Legends. Every time my friends are like, hey, there's a new League of Legends update, and they come up with some insane new currency to monetize a very specific portion of the game. And now it's like, okay, you can't spend this money on little legends and you can't spend this money on skins. And it's like, well, what is the point of all of this? And it's just to spread all your eggs in different baskets and get more money at the end of the day. And I did not realize how bad it had gotten in Overwatch until this. I mean, it really wasn't like, it was manageable, but this season added 2 more. Or season 9. So season 9 and 10 added 2 more within that period. I can make it... Oh, let's go back to Soldier. Although I can imagine a couple changes to Soldier that make him more so. One idea I had is to remove Healing Pad, reduce damage of Rocket, and give it a second charge a la Fire Strike. Yeah. I don't know if you've... So if a lot of people have talked about, Healing Pad is just really bad. It's just like, it's on a super duper long cooldown. Soldier can never stay in one spot anyways to take the most advantage of it. Because he is a flanker and he's running around. I mean, his other ability is sprint, for God's sakes. Um, so it's just really backwards to what Soldier wants to do. A lot of people have pitched the stim pack idea, where it's like in COD, you guys kind of like give yourself a heal boost, and I would say even with Soldier, if you give him like a speed boost too, because sprint is not a great mobility tool because it's so slow. If you give him another way to like be faster or have faster movement abilities, he could get away from things. Oh yeah, his ult too. I didn't even think about his ult. Yeah, Tac Visor is so boring. Like Tac Visor is an ability that was absolutely designed for an MMO. That was designed for Titan, right? It had to have been. Just make it easier to shoot you know what I mean? It had to have been. It was not designed for a shooter. If it was designed for Overwatch, then it was designed for people flailing around on a PlayStation in 2014. It does feel too perfect, doesn't it? It does. I mean, like it's part of Soldier's like larger identity. I wonder how you could change it. I don't know. I actually don't know. Like how could you change it? You know how he can headshot now? Maybe if he maybe if he actually hits people, it does some not extra damage because I think that'd be way too much. But if it did something else, if he actually hit people, like without using the the tac visor, I don't know. That's a hard one though. If you were to keep tac visor, how would you make it more interesting? I have no idea. Um, Make it auto fire with unlimited ammo and ult. Yeah, why doesn't it do that? The reload, the soldier reload and ult has always felt super clunky to me. It doesn't manually reload, like you have, or sorry, it doesn't automatically do it. You have to manually do it. That feels terrible. Oh, here, I'm gonna. Here's another hot take. Lifeweaver's parting gift was the worst ability ever designed, and it was so bad it lasted about 2 weeks before being scrapped entirely, giving it the shortest lifespan of any hero ability that I know of. Okay, Langston, don't hate me. I miss parting gift a lot. It was super duper silly. Okay, it's so dumb to give the enemy team health if they kill you up close. That's stupid, right? Why not just remove that and make it only for your team? It's just an extra. It's just silly. Lifeweaver, I don't know. It's bad, and you don't want to die. Obviously, you don't want to die. But if you're going to die, might as well help out. I don't know. Listen. It's bad. It was a bad idea. The way they implemented it was a bad idea. I don't think there's a good way to implement it. I think it's just silly, and I miss it. I miss it dearly. All right, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. If you have your own hot take, feel free to put it in the comment section or go ahead and join my Discord server that's linked down below. If you want to get in on the action live, I do a discussion every time I go live. That's twitch.tv/LaneHemingway. If none of that, just like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. I do really appreciate it. I have been really appreciative of all the growth that my channel has gotten really recently since I've been really trying to do YouTube uploads. So thank you so much again, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.